Okay, I think we can start now. Yeah, everyone is in. So, welcome to our webinar. Uh, Today we are going to discuss about cookie consent, a comprehensive guide. So, I am very thrilled you guys joined us for today. So, as we all know, the digital landscape is constantly evolving, and with the new Google policies keeping renewing again and again, it's very important for us to understand and how to navigate these changes effectively. So today I, Kunal and Girish will be going deep diving into the applications of these new policies. So today we are going to explore how they impact personalizations, ad targeting, and analytics for your websites. Our goal for today is to equip you guys with the knowledge and the tools which are very necessary for the privacy focused era. So it will surely ensure that your website remains compliant while still delivering a top-notch user experience. So I have Kunal with me. So he will be giving us the today's webinar. So yeah, Kunal, over to you.
Yeah, hi everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. So today we will be discussing how to set up Google cookie consent for your website. In today's webinar, we will be discussing about we will be getting familiar ourselves with cookie consent types and their applications. We will understand that what are the requirements, which countries required to set cookie consent as per the law. Then we will discuss what is Google Consent Mode V version 2, and then I will be walking you through the demo on how to set up cookie consent on your website using GTM. So I let's get into this. So before starting, let's understand what is cookie. Cookie is essentially a code or piece of information that is saved on your website or on any device, which this data stored in the cookies can be used for multiple purpose, including analytics purpose, track user behavior, or store the information that can be used to give better experience to the users. So I hope that is clear to you. So let's see, we will see like what are the type of cookies based on the data stored, uh, which is first party cookies and third party cookies. In the first party cookies, data is directly stored on the domain or a website, and that the data stored on the domain or website can be useful to provide a good user experience. Just to give you example, we could take an example of a welcome message when you revisit a website and you get a welcome message. Again, these cookies are uh, helpful to remember cart items and wish list when you left them, when you left the website and come back. Again, these cookies are responsible to remember the language preferences you set initially when you visit the website. Let's see what are the third-party cookies. Third-party cookies, unlike first-party cookies, these cookies are stored on the different domain that user is visiting and can be tracked between device to device. And these third-party cookies are used to display a more relevant ad to the users. Example of these third-party cookies are behavior tracking of the user, tracking their demography and their spending habits. Mostly, we see Google Ads use or the ad platform use this type of cookies for targeting to their users. Again, these cookies, which are stored in first party and third party cookies, can be categorized by their applications, which includes strictly necessary cookies, performance cookies, functional cookies, and targeting and advertising cookies. In strictly necessary cookies, information saved in these strictly necessary cookies can be used to function the website properly, and these cookies does not collect any personal information. So this cookies does not require user consent under the privacy laws as GDPR and CPRA. To give you example, the login information stored on the website or shopping cart item which are added to their cart or wish list are the example of strictly necessary cookies. These are responsible to store that information. Performance cookies are stores collects the data on user behavior. These cookies does not collect any identifiable information, but those are mostly track analytical data like popular pages, errors on the website, engagement time on the website, bounce rate, and lots of things. These cookies are can be first party cookies or third party cookies. In functional cookies, these cookies are used to enhance performance of a website, and without these cookies, certain functions may not be available uh, for the users. These cookies again do not track any information across the website. They might use some information, but not across the website. So this all information will be used for the same site. These cookies are responsible to remember important information of users like login data, uh, which region they are coming from, their language preferences, and so many things. These cookies are used to give personalized experience to the users depending on their location. For example, serving their retargeting ads or giving them weather reports based on their location. Advertising cookies are the cookies that use for mostly for advertising purpose and serve the targeted ads to the users. These cookies offer customers the best suited ads for their needs, and mostly use third-party cookies such as behavioral cookies, demography, information about the user. So I hope this information is clear to you, and I'm not going too fast here. Feel free to drop a question if you have any question. Next, we will see like which country is required to set cookie consent. According to the law passed by individual countries and governments, European countries come under European Union. Canada, UK, and United States are need to set cookie consent on their website. Uh, it's mandatory for the website to set up the cookies, even though the business is physically located in the desired country or not. So if any website which is serving to this location needs to set up this consent. Again, uh, if your website or mobile app attracts visitors from these countries, it's mandatory for them to set cookie consent on their website. Uh, Here is a link where you could find more information on the laws that are passed and which are the cookie consent requirement for these countries. I'm not going to go into the depth of this thing, but you could visit the link and check it if that applicable for your country. So next, we will try to understand what is Google Consent Mode. Unlike cookie consent, Google Consent Mode is something which communicates the cookie consent given by user on your website to Google tags or Google properties. So this consent which is set on your website, given on your website, is communicated to the Google, and accordingly Google tags are fired. Additionally, this consent mode allows you to allows for model the user behavior which does not require any user consent. So next, let's understand what is Google Consent Mode V1 and version 2. Initially, when Google come up with the consent, they had these two Google Analytics Storage and Ad Storage incorporated in their consent. Analytics Storage is uh, cookies that is been used for analytical purpose, and Ad Storage are the cookies that are being used for advertising purpose. Later on, in the version 2, Google has added two more consent, which is add user data and add personalization data. Add personalization data being used for advertising purpose specially, and uh, add user data consent is used for advertising purpose, and add personalization data is used for remarketing. So it's really straightforward. We just don't need to understand this concept, but we will be going to set these cookies based on which tag needs to be fired for this particular consent. So in again in Google consent mode, there are two types: one basic consent mode and advanced consent mode. In basic consent mode, uh, when you install cookies and set to a basic consent mode, the default setting, default consent state is not initialized until user gives consent to their states on the website. It means there is no data recorded or sent until user interact with your consent banner and ends up losing lots of useful data. Uh, in contrary, in advanced consent mode, as soon as Google user lands on your website, a default consent state are set. And based on your preference, you could set it to denied or granted, and uh, in that sense, the data will start collecting. In case user denies the consent, still uh, some cookieless pings are sent to the Google, and those cookieless pings doesn't contain any private or personal information, but mostly this information is used for behavioral modeling. And once user interact with the banner and gives their consent, the consent states are updated. For example, if user gives consent to record the data, the states will be updated to granted, and all the data will be full measurement data will be passed to the Google tags. So I think this is clear to you. Now let's see like how to install cookie consent, which involves four steps. First, we can configure a CMP account, which is a consent management platform. Then install banner on your website. I will be demonstrating you how to install banner using GTM. But banner can be installed using plugin, as well as you could add a JavaScript code given by CMPs on your website. Again, once banner is installed, you will need to configure the tags for the consent. For example, a default state and update the state. Once that is been done, we will have to test if all the tags are firing well as expected. So let's jump into the demo. Here, for demonstration purpose, I'm going to use Cookiebot account, and once you land in this account, once you register and create account, you will have to list your domain by clicking plus button here. You will see a similar interface for all the CMP accounts, more or less. The option will be the same. These CMPs give us a ready-made option to create banner and customize it as per your preference. You could navigate to all the option here by you could select the position where it should appear, what sort of content consent you require, explicit content or implicit consent. You can again select which type of button should be appear on the site in the banner and so on. Once banner configuration is done, you could again enable a shortcut on the shortcut for customize your consent on the website by clicking this option. Then next step is to set a declaration. By default, uh, this account CMPs will declare all the cookies that has been collected on your website, so that user will know which consent are being taken. But you could customize those by going custom option. While cookie declaration on your privacy policy page, you will have to add some space content text which could exactly give information about which consent you are requiring, what is the use, and you could edit this text by going here. Once you are done, you will have to either insert this script which is generated automatically and place it on your policy page. So once you put that code on the desired place, you will be able to see something like this. This is the text that we have set, and it again gives all the current states what is that is allow. This current state is dynamic, so if you disallow decline the state, it will set to decline. And again they will just specify which consent we are taking and as per the policy and law. So once you are done setting up your banner, customizing your banner declaration on your website, cookie consent banner can be installed using by placing this code on your website, or you could use plugin, and third option is to use GTM. For the demonstration purpose, I will be showing you how to set up a consent banner on website using GTM. Once you go into your respective GTM account, you can create a new tag, and you could search for the template by going into community template gallery. In this case, since I am using Cookiebot CMP, I will search for their template and select this template from here. Since I have already been installed this template on the website on the GTM, I will be selecting it from here. In this template, you could able to see a information like Cookiebot ID, which you can get from here in your account. Again, you could set your language preferences, which language you want to display that banner, and you could set default consent state. Default consent states can be customized based on the countries. For example, apart if you are serving users to countries which doesn't require consent by law, like India, you could set by default as granted, particularly for visitors coming from India. In case of other region, if you leave this blank, it will be set to default consent date as a denied to all the countries. So I will just leave it blank and add a consent. So it's set to decline for all the visitors for all the countries. You could choose this option wisely based on your requirement. Once that is done, you will need to set up consent for to fire this tag. Uh, this is a built-in consent check has been done by Google, and they have already identified which type of consent are required to fire this tag, and they have mentioned here. So you could just say if that contains all the consent types that are required, you could set on the no additional tag required option. And if you feel there by as per the law you will require to get additional consent, you could click here. I will be showing you example of these letter words. The next part is to set up triggering. This tag needs to be fire loaded in the start before all the elements load on the website. So this should be the first thing that should load on the website. That's why you need to select consent initialization tag for setting up your consent banner on your website. Since I have already set this up, I will not make it a duplicate tag, but I will just walk you through here. So this is how the configuration looks like. Once cookie consents are set up, you will need to configure all the tags to obtain all the consent to load them on your website. For example, we'll just redo it for you. So for example, uh, when loading a tag for ActiveCampaign, you knows like that ActiveCampaign is can collect data which is been used for advertising purpose as well as tracking purpose and analytics purpose. So you could mention all the tags which are applicable to fire this tag by clicking option here and save it. So now the cookie consents are set for this tag. So you will have to repeat that step for all the tags based on their consent requirement. You could just summarize everything by clicking on the shield icon here, and you could see which are the consent, which tag is set up in this list. So that's it. Once this is done, you could just submit and submit the tag, and that's all. So let's see once the tag is set up, how to test the tag if that has been fired properly. So I will just go into the preview mode. I will have to just clear all my cache data since I have already given consent. Okay. So for the new users on the website, once he land on the website, he will be able to see the banner like this and all the preferences and options here. So once this tag loads, the consent is initialized, which is at the start, first thing, and consents are set to decline as we have given configured them in our tag settings. Now, once we allow all the tags, you could see the consent state has been updated to granted, and all the tags, respective tags are started firing. It means the account is set up properly and all the tags are firing well. I think this is clear to you. So that's it. This is how you can set consent on your website. Uh, Feel free to let us know if you have any questions.
Yeah, thanks, Kunal. It was a really wonderful demo. Thanks. You explained from the start. You explained about the types of the cookies, the definition, and what is the consent modes, what's the older version, what's the newest version. You explained the types, categories, and also explained which countries fall into the same. And then you went to a clean demo and also wherein you explained how it's been set up, the various attributes related to it, and as well as you ensured with a proper validation by the demo itself. So that's where we, Vidushi helps out. We've experienced a lot wherein clients do face challenges. We've experienced few clients who have done the setup, but either that is partial. We can move to the next screen. So that is the reason. Uh, Based on the experience, we normally see that it is half-heartedly done. The proper cookies consent mode are not been either properly set up or they are not firing instances, and that is the reason that impacts the depreciation or the data output accordingly, and that really impacts the analysis, getting the right reporting. So it's very important to get these things in place, and that is the reason we have common picture. We've tried our best that we help our clients, our ICs mostly, that you, if you're facing such challenges, if it's halfway done, if you're not confident, we are here to validate. If it's partially done, we are here to validate it. We are here to do the testing from scratch to the end. And experts like working under Kunal will help you out in getting these things done appropriately with the right output. So we do help in this is the way the scope of work works. Like we review the current website. So formally, it needs to be understood that what type of technology it's been used. Is it, either it's open source, or either it's SaaS based, or either it's the core .NET or any other core technology. It depends upon whether we get the free, if there is a default plugin or an add-on or extension, uh, it can work out in a very proficient way, bit faster. But if it's core technology, then in that case, Kunal has to research a bit, and there is a development aspect also into it. So, yeah, the GTM configuration, if it's not been properly set up, we take care of this, and we set up the GTM properly if it's not done in the appropriate way. And if it's WordPress site, of course, yeah, we explain about what we do, either use a plugin to integrate the consent banner integration. We use a JavaScript or a GTM template. And if it's a custom one, of course, we'll have to customize the code accordingly. This I won't take it long way. It's been already explained that whether it's the consent mode V2, how the configuration has been done, uh, updating the policy page. It's been explained properly by Kunal already, and how the testing and verification is done. So all these three steps are carefully reviewed, taken care by the expertise, and then they help out in getting the right output in a appropriate way. Yeah, of course, with reference to deliverables, we ensure that the functional cookie consent banner with user-friendly options has been set up. The consent mode V2 implementation in the GTM has been done. And of course, we ensure the testing being done properly with the consent selections and reporting, of course, reporting the verification of the CMV2 functionality. So provided the timeline, it depends upon what technology it is, as I said earlier. It can vary if it's WordPress or open source. And if or even like Shopify or Magento, and if there are defined plugins, there are defined extensions, then the work happens pretty fast. There are defined templates. then it goes in a much speedier way. But if at all it's the core technology, then the developer comes in the picture, Kunal, and the team needs some sort of help in development. Um, yeah, what we need from you all, or what do you need to ask from your end clients, is the GTM admin. Um, if you have it, well and good. Website admin access, importantly, and the consent management platform. We recommend for the paid version like CookieBot or CookieS. And yeah, we also recommend take a legal advice regarding the data, preparing the data privacy compliance, and provide the information in a proper way. It's mandatory for your business. So these are a few requirements we need from the end client, from your end. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we can start with the Q&A session because we've done with the demo, we have done with the basic presentation, we've done with um, the client onboarding, or we explained about how to verify things also. So you can start with the Q&A session, Arjun. Anyone, if they have any queries, they can just post it, or they can raise their hand, or they can type it into the uh, chat box or the Q&A box. There is no question yet. Okay, Arjun has shared the cookie banner requirements link already. Yeah, anyone can shoot the question what they want. We are here to answer each and every question. So Kunal, I would rather, in the meantime, I would love to ask a couple of questions from my end also. So you explained about the version 2 difference. So was there a previous version as V1 or consent mode as V1, and now it's the V2? And I saw the difference, of course. There were some add-ons related to remarketing and advertising. So that's the only difference, or are there any other differences also?
Yeah, in the version V2, they have taken additional consent which is required for advertising purpose. So Google has added that into the version V2,
Okay,
which essentially, tracks all the behavioral data and can be used in analytics and retargeting.
okay, great. Thanks. I think no questions yet. This was a bit, I won't say an odd topic, but yes, it's a bit critical one. Of course, we have seen examples wherein client have faced challenges on getting the data right, set up right
Yeah,
way.
even we've seen like
Yeah,
once
can you
consent
explain?
has been set.
Yeah,
Yeah, once the consent has been set up on the website, they have seen drop in sessions
yes.
since consent tags are not set properly,
Okay,
and they are not obtaining consent. Even
great.
people they didn't have taken advance consent, which is mandatory and required for marketing purpose.
Okay,
So
okay,
that is where we could check. We need to look for and set the consent properly.
okay. And so basically, this really impacts the advertising and the remarketing efforts. You mean to say?
Yeah. So for
Okay,
advertising and analytics purpose, Google requires some sort of be user behavioral data, which they can store and display in tools like analytics. So it is very
okay,
important to gather this data. Again, this data can be used for modeling purpose. Once Google don't have user don't give their consent, they use this modeling to see a pattern and allocate
Right.
attribute conversion or to the right channel.
Okay.
So it's must to set up Google Consent Mode V2 in order to get
Okay.
all this data and proper reporting.
Okay. What sort of awareness do you see? I mean, are people really implementing it, or they are taking it in a casual way and it's really impacting? What do you feel, Sumit? Are people, is there a proper awareness, although it's an old uh, aspect right now? So,
Uh, the website owners in European region, they are actively setting up consent banner on their website. Even some of the clients in USA and Canada, but most of the website owners are not aware that they would need consent when they are fall into the UK and even USA or Canada. So
okay.
by law, it's mandatory, and they should obtain consent from the users. Again, it's like this law says like if you are serving to the users from these locations, you need to set up consent on your website. It means like
Okay.
even if you are operating in India, for example, but your targeted audience is located in the countries like European Union, UK, Canada, and USA, you should set up consent banner on your website to obtain their consent, since
Right.
their data is being shared and used for marketing purpose.
Right. Right. Thanks. So, yeah, there's no question coming up.
I think this is a really straightforward and
Yeah.
technical thing,
Yes.
where uh, you know
Yeah, you're right. That would be it. It was pretty technical. So it was mostly what I saw was mostly the technical
about,
way you explained. Yeah.
yeah, the awareness and what all things needs to be taken care when it comes to consent setup. And we are here to help all of our ICs to make sure their consent banner and the configuration is done properly, and even we could help them set up from scratch.
Sure. Sure.
We'll wait for 5 more minutes for if there are any queries.
Yeah, doubt. Yeah, let's see. Let's wait for those. But as I said earlier, that this was a pretty technical presentation. So I fear there would be more questions as such. I have a question, Kunal and Arjun. What made you feel to prepare this presentation for? I mean, why did you feel so it was a need to help out the ICs? I do understand, but were you facing clients facing these challenges, or what exactly made you feel this to prepare this
Yeah, we
presentation?
noticed like even everyone is aware of the requirement. But I see in most of the cases, either they have, set this up partially, it means, they have installed banner on their website, but haven't configured their tags for the
Okay,
consent. and that's where the data is not flowing well in their analytics account. We
Okay.
could again see, like, if this businesses who have consent set incorrectly or partially, they are seeing discrepancy in allocating the conversions to the right channel.
Okay. Got it. Thanks. So I think,
Okay,
yeah.
so I don't think there are any queries outstanding right now. So
Yeah, thanks. I mean, it was a wonderful presentation from Kunal. Of course, once again, thanks, Arjun, and thanks for all the presentees over here, attendees. It was lovely having you on board for the presentation. We really look forward again to meet you again for forthcoming presentations, which we look forward for getting some really interesting insights for you. We always are abided for the WSI community to share something which is always new, which will help in their sales, gaining the sales activity. And of course, we are here to ease down their work, and we take the brunt of the technical aspect, and they can focus on their sales. That's our primary objective. So really look forward for the forthcoming presentation. I would surely feel that Arjun or Kunal would come from with an interesting topic, and we expect the same attendance and few more, of course, from the PlaySI. Thanks to all
okay,
of you.
thanks everyone.
Thanks.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank
Thanks.
you.
Have a great day, everyone. Take care. We'll share the presentation whoever were attending it. So thanks. Yeah.
Thanks.